Can we roll, please?
Let's go, guys. Rake, just a quick one. Welcome back. You had a beautiful stint,
Yes.
we suppose, out in Turkey. Just brief us in on that, how your stay was and what did you pick up as management, and how far is the team based on the preseason that you guys had?
So I think it was an important 3 weeks. I think we had planned a very private camp behind closed doors for a very specific reason. You know, we wanted the coaching staff and the players to really cement their bond and just to begin to have a private space to work. I think we spent about a couple of days in Izmit, and then the second part was then in Istanbul. I think it was extremely important to get away for 3 weeks. You know, getting away mentally, physically, you know, from the country. The weather was prime for conditioning, for our periodization. So I think from a morale perspective, and I think just for initial ground foundation phase 1 preparation, I think an excellent tour, very productive, and a lot of hard work. I think a grueling, intense, but very productive preseason.
Kaizer, looking at the coach, you wanted him last season, he couldn't come, he went to Morocco. This time you got him. What does it mean for the team, and what are your expectations?
I think we were very clear in the beginning why Coach Nabi is the preferred person to take us to our next destination. I think his brand of football, his mentality, his winning attitude, and how his teams address the game on the field. I think there's a lot of alignment in terms of where we want to go as a club. And I think you know, the expectations are very high from everyone. I know, from our supporters, our stakeholders, but we know and we're very realistic about where we are as a club, and we're literally using this season to reconstruct who we are. I've said this a couple of times, and it's literally the truth for us to find out and see what has worked in the past, where we are right now, have an honest assessment of ourselves, and we ask for patience and calm, because, you know, success is not going to happen overnight. You know, whether it's with Coach Nabi, our players, bringing in new players, we ask for a lot of patience and time, and we're very privileged, I think, to have just a technical staff like we do, very confident in their abilities, and from the club side, it's just for us to be realistic about our position, and expectations are to change who we are as a club.
And what has he made of the squad that he inherits, and what conversations have you had with him just around the squad?
A very positive one. I think the coach is very well versed in, you know, he's done his research in the league. He's not just coming now and seeing a bunch of players. You know, I think him and his staff are, you know, consummate professionals. Done a lot of their ground and homework on our staff, on our playing staff, what we need. A lot of positive feedback. Of course, I know that he's going to be obviously giving his report now towards the camp is done. You know, we also have a bit of an extended time until our next fixture, so it's going to give the coach more time to be able to have a deeper look at certain players. He's very clear on the kind of player that he wants to be at this team, very clear on the kind of football he wants to play, very clear on the level of discipline and mentality that he wants to work with. So as it stands right now, definitely a work in progress, but camp is done, and I think the debrief of the way forward is what we'll be focusing on.
Is there an understanding from, I know you saw the coaching staff,
Yeah.
but from the players,
Yeah.
is there understanding of how important it is to have this club back at the top, along with Pirates and Sundowns, in order to strengthen football?
I think very much so. And I think not just the players. I think what's important is this is a cry for the whole organization. You know, it's not just about the playing personnel, it's about management, it's about playing staff, it's about people who work at the office, who work at the village, everyone associated with the brand. You know, even our board members and our stakeholders. It's a wake-up call to all of us. And I think the mentality in the group is a big point for the coach. And I think that's a lot of focus has already gone into that. So I think the players understand the task at hand, understand the importance and the gravity of what transpired last year, where we are now, and what is expected of them. You know, and I think they have really grasped what we need to do moving forward. The bar has been raised significantly, and I think they're in for a lot of hard work.
As an organization, is there an understanding of how important it is to have Chiefs playing there amongst the people as well, to strengthen again South African football? Because
results. I think by us being able to bring in the professionals we've done is a big signal to understand that what is the level where we need to be. So I think this technical staff that have been roped in and the vision and the direction we want to go, we're very much aware of what it takes and where this club needs to be. Like I said, it's not just about the players in the field. It's literally about every single person that dons the gold and black colours. You know, so we have taken a huge introspection into where we are as an organisation and where we want to go. So definitely.
Justin, how far are you from assembling what will be a team that you feel like, okay, the technical team is the team that they are looking for? Because I think I get the feeling that you are still not done on the market. And maybe just how far are you? And Chiefs playing in September, only in September. I know that as an influential club in the ecosystem of South African football, it's not really an ideal thing that a full month would go, but are you also looking at that maybe in hindsight as a blessing in disguise for a technical team to just fill a set?
So to answer the first part of the question, we're definitely not done in the transfer market because there's some glaring positions in the squad that we need to reinforce. We have a young squad at the moment in time. You know, I think it's a squad that needs a bit of experience, with quality. So we're very mindful of the demands placed on what's coming next season. So to answer the question, we're working behind the scenes day and night to make sure that we reinforce where we need to reinforce. We've got a bit of a clear roadmap of the kind of player we need in what positions. And so on that point, we're definitely working on it. And I think the fixture being delayed is never ideal because, you know, you go in a pre-season and you plan your periodization, you know, from a sports science perspective, you know, and it loads it down on a certain perspective in a certain way, knowing the games are starting to fit. So I think we've got a great sports science team, and I think from a conditioning perspective, technically, I think it's always good to have more time to prepare, you know, but it's very important the kind of opposition we get now in our friendly games to be able to keep the right intensity, mentally, physically, and technically and tactically for the guys to understand what the coach wants. So I think two-edged sword, more time to prepare. But yeah, I think still very clear on what needs to be achieved in the short term.
Esti, I'm looking at the type of players that you have in your development, having watched them train. How much of a choice does he have, Nabi, to go through the development, and who have you assigned to actually make sure that he gets the look that he wants, the player that he wants, he grooms the players that, what's the turnaround time for him to actually use the development side of Kaizer Chiefs?
I can't really say there's a turnaround time. I think the coaches literally today, I mean, yesterday was the first time he touched foot in the country, you know, and he's had 3 weeks tasked with, getting the first team prepared. He had a few youth players with him and his technical staff for them to assess and look at. And I think as time goes on, I think these next couple of weeks is going to give the technical staff as a whole time to look and see, you know, what's at the academy, the level of certain players, and just besides the academy, but as a holistic structure to see where we need to beef up, where we can improve, and just to get an understanding of our ecosystem and the direction that we want to go. But I think we've got very capable people within the structure to provide the information, and I mean, the coach has really done a lot of his research, so he knows a lot of players, even youth players. So I think that will unfold as the time goes on.
Just quickly, in regards to, you've been in the position for a couple of years, can you just maybe, because it's a very important imperative position if you like, just your importance of the position, and how have you found it? Have you adapted? Is it easy? Is it difficult? What makes it easy or difficult? And what are your aspirations in regards to taking this club forward?
No, I think any position when you have the privilege to work with this brand and this institution is a massive honor, right? So obviously I think like everybody else, whether it's a player or anybody else associated with the team, just really want to contribute to success, you know? And I want to be able to take this club with everyone involved to the next level. I think we look at the achievement of what the chairman and our forefathers have achieved. You know, we have a clear strategy on what is our next step. I know what the club has done domestically in the past, and I think everyone wants to see this club doing well on the continent, being on the world stage. So we have timelines that we put down. We have a vision that we want to achieve, and I just want to be part of the success. And I think everyone wants to be able to lend their 2 cents to make sure that this beautiful brand can be where it belongs.
We have
Maybe just to follow up on that. What is the latest recruitment
because I'm sure as the management, you don't want to allow this thing to drag, so also to avoid a situation where every time we see you, we ask you about the same thing. Are you guys discussing this, and how soon can you make a call on what's going on?
I think as time goes on, we'll be able to divulge more information. I think everyone knows from the start of the season, when we sat down and spoke, I think we released a statement, when it came, as far as it came to his playing contract. We had assessed everything, and we've sat down with E2, and we see him playing a very, very valuable role within this institution. I mean, he has contributed tremendously to this institution. He's a living legend. I think he has a lot to offer, whether it's academy players, senior players, in various roles. So I think as time goes on, we'll be able to divulge the next steps with E2. But he's very much a very important part of this family, this organization, and this team. So I think as the weeks unfold, we'll be able to release some more information about the direction. But yeah, I mean, a person who's achieved and been at one club like he has, I think he's a fabric of the cloth and everything of this team. So I think we are privileged to have someone like him around this team, especially at this important time. And I think as time goes on, like I said, we'll be able to divulge the next steps.
SD, be part of the process that has been happening now for quite some time. And how important is this project for you personally? Because it seems as if you are involved as Coach now coming along. How important is this to work for you personally as you look at it? Just say by the two and
I think to be fair, I mean, this is extremely important to everyone associated with the team. I mean, this is our lives into this, and we are tasked with responsibility to be able to execute and achieve. So I think it's extremely important, not just for myself, but for every single supporter, every single player. And yeah, I think it's definitely a work in progress, but extremely important.
Doing some introspection.
Yes.
What have you found in terms of what has been the challenge in terms of how the team is acquired the technical players? Because obviously there's been a high number of coaches and some players who sort of have made a big impact, sort of expected, and sort of what have been the lessons from that introspection in terms of how the club has been going about getting that talent?
No, I think there's a lot of things internally that we have found that we need to change. And to be fair, it's not just about bringing a coach or bringing the right kind of player, having the proper recruitment, the environment you have. I think it's a combination of many factors. And if we're fair as a club, I think that we have let ourselves down in a few areas, where there could be in recruitment, where there could be in our preparation, where there could be in the environment that we have had here as a club. And we have to put our hands up and be the first to be like, this hasn't worked, and have honest conversations about what we need to do. And I think we know that we have gotten many things wrong, and I think it's very important. That's why even how we're trading in the transfer market now is very calculated, it's very specific, and like I said again, it's a combination of factors. And us as a club, have we done our supporters a disservice in some of our decisions and how we've done stuff? Yes, we have. And I think we've definitely internally sat down, looked at what we need to do, and we're working on that.
Steve, one of the things that we've spoken about was the fact that Coach Nabi is more to youth. And then we think of the development what Coach Arthur did. Where is Coach Arthur now part of the structure as to molding the young players that are coming in?
Coach Arthur his title is senior coach, senior academy coach. His task was very important. I mean, he works with our DDC under 19, under 17, 15, and 13 to be able to provide blankets, training philosophy. So his role in time is spent with each of the groups to make sure that we have uniformity and be able to continue our progression and pathways for the youth players. He's also part of our scouting department. So his role is very clear, and yeah, that's what he's been busy.
SD, how do you strike the balance between getting the type of player that the coach wants, but also knowing when to sort of walk away if the deal is not exactly to what you guys are comfortable paying? When do you strike the balance between the priority and having to get it done and then knowing that, okay, now it's time to move for a similar alternative?
I think the first part about that issue with recruitment is that there must be a lot of alignment between the club and the person who's your head coach and technical staff. And I think most of the time that's where the first sort of important step is missed. And I think we're very confident and understand that there's full alignment between the kind of football we want to play, the kind of players we want to bring in, and the kind of football and style that Coach Nabi represents. So I think that alignment makes things a lot easier. And then of course it's about the market. You know, we also want to be able to go you know, as far as we can to make sure we bring the right quality. And it's not just about a kind of player that the coach wants. It's the kind of player that needs to be at this institution. So of course, I mean, if financially things do not make business sense, then I mean, like any business, you have to sit back, recalculate and see, you know, the pros and cons. You know, and that's how we want to manage our affairs. You know, we want to be responsible in what we do. We want to be deliberate, at the same time not reckless, and also be able to balance our short-term objectives with the long-term objectives. You know, so I think key to this is the alignment between the coaching staff and the vision and the identity the club wants to have. And I think that's been matched. And of course, it's about the market and what we're able to do.
Okay, so Steve, just last question. We'll close the chance, ne?
Last one.
We agree, ne?
After you.
Okay. Yeah. Last question is Steve. Yes. Also the bringing in new technical team altogether has also created new spaces. For instance, you have the head of academy at this site now. So what is the plan? How far is the process of filling that vacancy, that side? And what happens to some of the guys who are still in the system who also come from the first team?
So I think the club is very much we're patient and calculated in the people that we want to put in certain positions. And I think it ties also into where we want to go and the vision for the academy and the vision for the side. So I think obviously as time goes on, we'll be able to share our direction, share the project plan for next door. And I think there's been a lot of great work next door. If you look at, I mean, even as recent as now, I mean, our team won the Engine tournament now in Gauteng. So they've been, you know, they continue to do great work next door. And I say next door, it's our academy. So we're very proud of them. And even in looking at some of the talent that was able to join us now in camp, we can see there's a lot of hard work that's going in. And it's just about being able to merge that with the right experience and right quality on the first team level. And you know, that's a very key point for us right now. It's to be able to bring the right experience that can help them in this environment. You know, so I think we'll be able to, you know, provide direction on where we're going with our academy and with anything else as time goes on. And yeah.
I think the question was also about, because I was at the end and I saw some of the staff who were with the first team also there to support the team.
Yeah, we have Dylan Shepherd, who obviously will be assistant coach Vela at DVC side. He's also forming part of the scouting team. We have Muzi Maluleka, who also will be our fitness coach at DVC level, you know, and of course Stali Matibe will be our DVC goalkeeper coach, you know. So yeah, they're part of us. They're part of the academy, and yeah, they're looking forward to this next season.
Christina, much not any message from Pirates and Sundowns?
No, nothing much. I think you saw the level of opposition and the clear intent in their preseason tours. You know, I think, you know, it's great kudos to the management, to the players, staff. You know, they went to some great territories. Leaving the country and coming back, we saw how that benefited them last season. You know, they did tremendously well. We look forward to a very tough season this season, and they must know it won't be the same as last season. From our side, we're going to really up our intensity and our workload and our quality, and we wish them all the best. But I mean, if you look at the bar that they're setting, extremely high. Congratulations to Sundowns again for all that they continue to achieve, and of course Pirates for great season they had last season. So I mean, you see by their intent and their professionalism in the pre-season, it just bodes well for the season ahead.